And I'm back. If you haven't heard the first episode from Dubai, you should listen to that one first. Otherwise, some of the stuff here makes no sense. In this episode, I'll take you along to the local market, and then I finally get to talk to Tracy,
also known as Latifa,
a local Muslim woman from England who married an Emirati and is now teaching non-Muslims about what Islam is all about. As you know, because you already listened to episode 1 here from Dubai, I met her in the Jumeirah Mosque. My name is Palabo, and this is the Radio Vagabond podcast. The day before yesterday, I went to the old part of Dubai that used to be the center of the city. And here I felt it was more local. It was more Middle Eastern, local, and there was a lot of markets, or as they call them, souks, and it felt very original. The buildings are, well, not that old, around 50 or 60 years old, and there are no high-rise skyscrapers. I think most of the buildings were like 4 or 5 or 6 floors high. Of course, there were a few that were a bit more, but most of the buildings are not that tall. And the marketplace was very authentic. You get approached quite a bit when you're walking the streets. Have a listen.
Nice shop, nice shop.
It's a very nice shop.
Yeah. Nice camels.
Yeah.
Nice Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
Nice pashmina scarf. Also nice nasi. This is all you try. Not buying, no problem.
Yeah. What's your name?
Where are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
Oh,
at one point I was dragged into a store and given original clothes on, the dish dash and the original scarf that could be tied in different ways, either the Emirate way or the Oman way, and that was also quite interesting to try that out, that outfit. If you want, I don't encourage it, but if you want, you can see a picture of me in that costume on the radiovagabond.com or at radiovagabond.dk. Also, when I was recording some sound from the market, a couple of guys from Pakistan, they came up to me and we had a very nice chat about them giving names to each other. You work every day here?
Yes.
What's your name?
Shafiq Khan. Shafiq Khan.
Shafiq Khan. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Denmark, I think, Tuzum Tag.
His name is Madari.
His name is what?
Madari.
Madari?
Yes.
No. What do you say? Madari, he look like Madari, you know? No, cutting a little bit, yes.
Madari means, Madari.
No, I don't know what that
You are working, pocket cutter.
Come on.
What do you call him then? What do you call
Imdad Sab.
Why? What's that?
Imdad Sab, you know?
Because I giving some people donation, like that.
So that's
they
called your nice name.
Yeah, nice
Yes,
name.
nice,
I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But they are laughing. You help somebody, you not business. You all.
I'm from Denmark.
Oh, Denmark, Tuzum Tag.
Yeah.
Tak.
You both do that.
They are Madari.
Okay, now back to Jumeirah Mosque. After the session where she answered questions, I sat down with Tracy.
Yep, my name's Tracy, also known as Latifa. I'm come from the UK, London, but I've been living here now in Dubai, coming up 24 years. I hold an Emirati passport, so yeah, very blessed and lucky, and actually volunteer for the Sheikh Mohammed Centre for Cultural Understanding.
Let me remind you that even though she sounds very British, she looks very Muslim in a black abaya. Tracy is married to an Emirati and has lived 24 years in Dubai. So she grew up a Christian, but then converted when she got married. So I guess you grew up a Christian and then converted after you got married?
Yeah, that's right. My background is from the Christian faith. I always say to people, never really feel I've changed my religion. I feel I just updated it to that last confirmation.
Because there's a lot of things in common with Christianity and Islam.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest myths around the world. People are so surprised to realise that it's just a confirmation. It's just, we believe in all the prophets, we believe in all the messengers, we believe in all the angels, Judgment Day, and there is only one God. The actual meaning of Allah means the one and only.
Mm-hmm. Is Jesus in the Quran?
Yes,
Really?
so many. We actually believe that all the prophets and messengers are dead and buried, apart from Prophet Jesus, who we're waiting for his return.
You're waiting for Jesus?
Yes, we actually have a chapter dedicated to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and how important women are. So, yes. So.
Yeah. So you do this thing. Can you just explain what this thing is? Because you do it every day except Friday.
Yeah, we actually have a mosque visit, just open to the public, so anyone can come and have a visit. And as you see, we run through the 5 pillars of Islam, then I hand over to the guest to talk about anything that they're wondering about, seeing on TV. So yeah, I meet some really lovely people from all over the world, and I just get a satisfaction of when they leave, they realise how peaceful, this way of life, and it's not a different way of life, it's just a continuation.
It's a bit different.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But, really, I don't know. I find it very, when I look, compare the faiths, I find it very hard to find the things that are different. If you look in the Bible by King James, the fasting's there, all the religions forbid the eating of the flesh of swine, and so on and so on. So it's only that the other ones were changed, that these things got removed. So they're a lot more similar than people think.
I bet there's some of the questions that you get every day, like, why do women cover their hair? And so you get that every day.
Our number one question is actually, why do women wear black? That is our number one question.
Oh, we didn't get that one.
I've been doing this for 10 years, and actually I get that question nigh on all the time, regarding the dress.
Yeah. Why do you wear black?
Actually, it's the best way to dress, believe it or not.
But it's so warm here.
People say that, but the looser, the darker the clothing, it actually works better because it's so thin. It's like a pair of sunglasses. When you walk around town, you see all the blacked out windows creating a shadow. This is really what the abaya does. Yep. But they come in any other colour. You can wear any colour whatsoever.
Yeah. And the black women dress is abaya?
Yeah, the actual abaya, actual word abaya means shield. So by being black, that's actually, shields what we have on underneath. So again, gives us that freedom to wear what we like.
Yeah. And the white one, the men wear, I know that they call it dish dash.
A dish dash would be somewhere like Saudi Arabia. But actually we here call it kandora.
Okay. Here
in the UAE.
What are the most weird questions you've had?
Weird questions. There was one I actually had recently about the pilgrimage that we do, and the lady said that she heard that when men finish that, they have a gold tooth put in. Never heard that before. So that must be a lot of people's cultures do get into these things. So yeah, just sometimes things like that. Yeah. And women are not allowed to do this, and they're not allowed to sleep in the same bed as their husband if they're having their monthly cycle. And they're a bit weird. Yeah.
I heard rumors, I didn't get to ask the questions, that in a Muslim family, the husband and the wife, they don't eat together. Is that true?
That's not true at all. No, really. Every day you're around that table, just like any other family. Even when I go next to my brother-in-laws, we're all sitting around together. The only time that we would separate is, number one, if the whole family gets together, there's like 60 of us, so you'd never get around that table. So we do it in 2 sit-ins. Women usually sit in one room, and the men go onto the majlis. Or if the men had their friends around, they would have their meeting, and the women would be free to be in her house and do what she wants. If she wants to join, or maybe they had their wives, she would join, they'd all sit together. Really? But she would still dress modestly. Not with the black, but we'd wear a coloured scarf, long dress. But yeah, so it's fine.
I spoke to some Danish people in Abu Dhabi, and they say, well, we don't really interact so much with the local, because when we're going there as a couple, my wife has to be with his wife in another room, and but it's not like that.
It's not like that at all, really. This is a personal preference of people. Differ, as long as that lady is covered modestly, there's no reason, as long as her husband would also be there with them. This is just obviously their preference. And it's nice actually. In my mum's house, before I was a Muslim, when all my brothers and sisters come, but after we'd had the Sunday dinner, we'd always split up. All the men would go and watch football in the one room, and me and my mum and sisters were sitting in another room chatting with all the kids.
One thing that you touched a little bit upon the whole thing about Islam being a very peaceful religion, but still out there are people killing in the name of Allah.
Yes, of course. I always say to people, when someone wants to justify an act of evilness, they will try and justify it in the best way they can, using the Almighty's name. Really, He's the creator of the universe. He's the biggest thing we have. This is how they're doing it. You'll get a student walking in a school, shooting 20 children. You say, why did you do that? They say, because that teacher bullied me. No one has the right to take someone else's life. And the governments of the world, they give so much help for people that have gone through bad situations. Go and get help. Don't try and, I think it's an insult to God that they're using His name in this evil act. But unfortunately, this is how they're justifying it to themselves.
I'm wondering in Denmark and all over the world why there aren't anyone Muslim high-ranking standing out there and saying we don't condone this. They don't say this is not Islam.
Yeah, really, I think they're doing the best they can. And as we've learned by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is being a good example. So being patient and hoping the world will see and will understand. I think they are trying. I remember, 9/11, that's one of the evilest, worst things we've ever gone through. And I know that all the kings and sheikhs personally sat down and writ hand letters to President Bush. And one day I thought, I wish he'd gone on TV and read them letters.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
So it always works both ways. Unfortunately, yourself, being in media, positivity just don't sell. People just want this negativity, and how many TV people have I said, come and video my lecture and give it out on discs all over the world.
Getting married to a local emirate, that must have been a different life.
It was amazing. And for me, it was all the weird things that kept making me ask questions to myself. Why are they doing this? My husband said about Ramadan, no one's going to be eating and it's this. And I thought, why would someone not want to eat? That's like torturing yourself, and just like coming from a country where you have to worry about, walking down the road, is someone going to steal your handbag? And coming here to this little shop, stacking up 20, 30 cases of 7-Up and Pepsi, chucking a blanket over it and going home. And I'm saying to my husband, won't no one take that? No, they wouldn't dare take it. So, it was it was so lovely, really. His family was so humble and kind, and it was amazing. Everything they ate and drank, thanks God, so appreciative. And that was one of the,
I live in an Airbnb. When I got there, I asked my host, she's in India at the moment, I said, how do I get the key? No, it's on the table inside. You just go in. What do you mean, it's not locked?
No, exactly. It's where, we're so lucky the government takes care and pride of his people, that making sure that they are safe. And that's the way we should all be living in the world, really. So we're 80% expatriate here and 20% local. And I don't think you can find that much wearing anywhere else. So we're just so lucky and blessed that we have a good, government backing us up.
Yeah. But you can consider yourself local?
I do. I always say that I'm English, but I hold, privileged to hold a local passport. I don't know if I could ever become as, when I talk to these locals, they're so lovely. I don't want to embarrass them or anything by saying my accent gives it away, actually.
But you're quite good in Arabic.
Yes, I learned Arabic. 24 years ago, no one spoke Arabic, so I was chucked in at the deep end. So me and my mother-in-law had a lot of sign language between us. But I was lucky enough to learn the language. I can't actually read or write it, but I do actually speak it. So.
How did your family react when you said, I'm going to marry this Emirati?
Yeah, obviously they met him because he was studying, so they met him, before that. And my dad, he's always been one of them. He's got 4 girls, 1 boy. He said, it's your life, do what you want. If anything goes wrong, I'll be here for you. My mum, I think for the covering, was a little bit scared. She was always on the phone. You all right? What's going on out there? There was no... God bless technology, no Facebook, nothing then, so it was just literally phone calls. But fine. Once they met the family and once they see how happy I was.
But didn't you see the film Not Without My Daughter?
Yes, that was a brilliant film, wasn't it? And you know what? there probably are men out there that are controlling, but this is all over the world. I was saying to one young lady, some of my friends from, UK, their husbands, they have a drink, they beat them up, they're not allowed out. So this is that controlling thing. But yeah, that was a good film.
Do you have kids?
I have 3. My daughter's 21 at university. I have an 18-year-old son that's just gone into his army service. And then a 15-year-old.
Nice. Thank you, Tracy. What's with the second name?
Yeah, when I come here 24 years ago, no one spoke English. The Arabic alphabet, the word T is very hard to pronunciate. So my mother-in-law, she used to say to me, crazy, crazy. I used to say, no, Mum, I'm not crazy. So I said to my mother-in-law, she can call me any name that she wants. So actually, I think it was my sister-in-law that picked Latifa. And because my husband's youngest sister's Sharifa, so we got Sharifa and Latifa. So 20 years down the line, even my family in UK, they phone me and say, hi Teef, how are you today? So I go by both names because people just call me both names. So yeah.
It's been so educational and it's so good that you do this. So thank you so much for meeting me.
Thank you so much, really, and I wish you really all the keep safe on your journeys and everything.
It's my final night here in Dubai and I decided to go for a last swim in the ocean. I'm sorry if the sound quality isn't that perfect. I left without my recording gear, so I'm just recording on my phone now. It's 20 minutes past 8 at night. It's pretty dark except from the 29 skyscrapers I can see when I'm sitting in the ocean. Behind me there's the famous man-made island, the Palm, and lights from the gigantic hotel in the background. On the other side I can see they're building the Dubai Eye, a bigger version of London Eye, and I'm just sitting in the water looking at the skyscrapers and reflecting of my last 8 days here in Dubai. It's been totally amazing and I have the feeling that I'm going to be back here again many times. Now I'm at the Dubai airport, and when I was going to check in, he said, when are you leaving the Philippines? I said, I don't know. I'm a long-term traveler. I don't know where I'm going and when. Oh, you need to have a ticket out of the country. Otherwise you'll be refused when you get to Manila to get into the country. So I was in a hurry. I tried to go to the ticket sales here and said, you need to get me a ticket out of the Philippines, the cheapest one you have. I don't care where I'm going. And he found one that was way too expensive. So instead I went online myself on my phone and bought a ticket to Hong Kong. Yeah, I guess I'm going to Hong Kong. Whatever. That's gonna be my next stop after the Philippines. This is it from Dubai. Don't forget my plea from the last episode about sharing this, and you can watch pictures from Dubai on theradiovagabond.com and on the Danish version radiovagabond.dk. My next stop will be the Philippines, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving.